Tony represents the number 8 for sure. In numerology and astrology, each planet, each number has positive and negative aspects of it. For example, the number 8 is connected to greed, one of the 7 deadly sins, right? People could connect, Tony and all mafia leaders to number 1 because they're leaders, but he just exudes greediness. Like, bro, your brother-in-law was just popped and you asking for money from the people who popped him?
One thing, you hit my brother-in-law. So? This is my sister we're talking about. She's got to see something out of this.
Not only that, but you owed people money before, and then you act like a bitch when you gotta pay them back.
You came for the rent. The rent.
What are you talking about?
Bro, Tony was so greedy. Even though he wanted that money for Bobby after he got popped, he wanted it for Janice. Janice probably ain't see none of that money, bro. Janice probably, if she did see it, it wasn't all of it. I guarantee you it wasn't all of it. The number 8 is connected to power too, and he just throw his power around, you know what I'm saying? It's connected to the planet Saturn. But let's talk about the number 1 some more, right? I said the number 1 can be connected to leaders, alphas, the head of the family connection. But let's focus on the negative aspect of the number 1. First off, I think Tony was a terrible leader. He was not living up to the potential of what he could be as a leader. One of the negative aspects was he was overly assertive. Tony ruled out of fear. A lot of the people around him didn't really even fuck with him.
I have friends.
The fuck's that supposed to mean?
No, Tony, you just have a bunch of flunkies.
What do you know about it?
I believe if you want to be a good leader, you have to listen. You have to listen to the people who follow you and the people who's trying to show you better. He's very arrogant, and that's part of the number 1. Another negative aspect of the number 1 is impulsiveness. I think Tony, sometimes he's just in a rush to kill people. Like, I think a big part of the reason why he really killed Ralphie, it was all because of his ego, man. He didn't 100% have to kill Ralphie. And then he cared more about animals than he do people. That shit, he was just using that to justify why he killed Ralphie for real. He wasn't really mad about that fucking horse. I think Christopher is a good representation of Tony. If Tony was a good leader, bro, Christopher would have still been alive. He would have still been with Adriana. He abused loyalty and fear 100%. As a family member, man, he didn't empower Christopher enough, especially because he was supposed to be training him. No, man, he embarrassed him a lot, man. Even if you're a criminal, you can only benefit from being a good leader. If he actually kept up with that therapy, it would have been an entirely different show. But we know a lot of this stems back from how he was raised, especially with his mother, his pops, definitely, and then being raised in a crime family. But anyways, man, if you're a leader, you need to ask yourself, why do you feel like you need to be feared to feel like respected? I think Tony is a perfect representation of how not to be a leader. Yeah, he had his moments where, he did some good things. Like, Tony really did strike fear in people, and he knew how to use it. He was actually smart sometimes. He handled some situations well. The number 8 is connected to karma as well, and karma can come spiritually. That's why he was having those panic attacks and shit. I like the therapy aspect of the show for sure. People have to ask themselves, how have they used their power to avoid the pain of what they went through? Are you truly ready to handle power? Everything he did, it just showed the hurt side of him. The number 1 is tied to identity as well. And when you combine that with 8 being the number of power, 1 being the number of identity, shit, 8 can show you your identity. Panic attacks was his second chance at life. Like they said in the show, he was just trying to learn how to be a better criminal. He wasn't truly trying to get better to, change his life. There's honestly so many things I left out of this. It's a lot of information. But anyway, shout out to Mr. James Gandolfini for this role, man. He played an amazing role. I can't imagine anybody else that could have played a good Tony Soprano. I'm definitely going to be making more videos about these characters and these numbers because I just think it's interesting. If you made it this far, then shout out to you, man. Leave a like, subscribe. Thank you.